Oh, good morning, Mr. Autodidactic, or actually technically afternoon. Hey, going, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, it's been a big week. Hello, everyone. We've missed a fortnight because obviously we did the Mulaney gig this weekend, which was fucking excellent. I
Yep,
think our best show so far, Campbell.
I think it was great. Yeah, great audience. We went out the next day, checked out some pyramids and ancient tree trunks
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Glasshouse Mountains.
Yeah, it was super special. I loved it. Obviously, I went on a big journey with that show, and it was much more of a rawer experience for me personally,
Yes,
but and a
I went
different
away.
structure. I think we took it up a notch, Mr.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Purvis.
yeah. It was a bit different to what we've normally done for sure. And like I said, that was we sort of got it together, but we didn't have an ending, and that was your journey while I was journeying around another country. So that
Yep.
that was my gift to you, the growth that you received.
I know, keep telling yourself that, buddy. But yes, you're right. You're right. There's always a benefit. But so we've decided that we're not going to talk about this live event. This show is going to stay sacred to the container, and we're really, really encouraging every single Tartarian Australian individual to try to get to one of the live events. Campbell and I will have committed to touring this one. So it's been a work in progress because, we always like, at these live events, our whole thing is about getting everyone together. That's like the number one thing. That's what we care about. Secondarily, is that the word? To the shows, obviously, is the information and the thing that we're actually talking about. And it's always been pretty tricky, hasn't it? Because are we talking about Tartaria from the level of a newbie? Or are we coming in with our current audience at the level of our current consciousness? We never know. But this one,
No,
we
well,
made
I
a
mean,
decision.
we only have advertised through, this podcast. So our shows are for our audience. So they're wherever we're at, basically. So yeah, with the shows, if you're coming along, we're not going to be going back 5 years and reviewing the basic Tartaria stuff. It's always where we're up to. We just
Yeah,
happen to be called Tartaria Australia, but it's the
excellent.
consciousness.
It's the consciousness, of course. It's the consciousness. So we had a fantastic event. So in the next couple of weeks, we will be putting up a whole new pile of shows around Australia. And if you are in the audience and want us to come to your area, put your hand up. We really get it's so much support for us pulling this off. If we have people in the local areas helping us, just getting the venues together and just the bits and pieces that go along with this sort of thing.
Mm.
Um, we aren't a rock band and we don't have PA managers and, a crew behind us. We have
Nothing.
amazing, amazing community members and amazing
Yes.
volunteers and wonderfully, I mean, essentially this is the highest resonant community left in the world now, really, the truth community, because, you didn't interfere with your frequency bands with her. And as a result, everyone is super intuitive, super energetic, specific, super intelligent. So we're really honored and blessed by our community. It's excellent. And I know the guys who end up coming to our live events, you love it also because you get to, like immerse yourself.
Show
Immerse
yourself.
yourself. Yes, you get to immerse yourself in a day of an excellent, I really think an excellent live show. And then we get the fantastic social afterwards, wherever that ends up being. And oh yes, so Mr. Drunken Sailor here, who
Wasn't my
provides
fault. I
wine,
had jet lag.
wine with jet lag, and he was swaying like the Disney cartoon. But everyone loves it. And then, of course, we always do the bonus beat day on the Sunday. We drag our carcasses, and in my case, my throbbing feet, to the adventure that we like to set up on the Sundays, whatever that is, and it's always different wherever we are. But they're so much fun. I love them. We had a good one this
Mm.
time, eh?
We did, yeah, yeah. Glasshouse Mountains. We went out, went for a walk in nature, bare feet. Had a bit of a didgeridoo and rock tapping ceremony. It was great.
Yeah,
And yeah, so we're going to tour the show all around Australia, pretty much all capitals, pretty much. But we
yeah,
don't want to be in the cities. We want to be, a bit further out. So if you happen to be in those cities and you'd like to
definitely.
help or volunteer your services, send us an email, tartariaaustralia@gmail.com.
And look at this amazing gift. I wonder, I might have to
Oh,
take it off the.
you've disappeared. Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh, wait, I might have to take it off. Hang
The
on.
background, yeah, it keeps us
Oh, here we
hearing.
go.
Going to
What is
reveal where
this
you really
strange,
are.
strange fault of Zoom and the green screen? All right, let's just take it off here for a second because I really want to show you
Mhm.
guys this
Yeah, spilling the
amazing.
suspense. Oh wow. I didn't even see that one. That's cool.
This is a fairy garden
Oh, is it?
that
Okay.
I know. And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I fucking love handmade gifts. They're my favorite all-time, hands down, favorite handmade gift. So call out to Tracy, who's put so much love and time into this, even though you guys aren't seeing it properly. It's just something so beautiful, all handmade, all by herself. And Campbell, you also got a gift, which you may not have seen yet, which is
I, I
also wicked. It's this
I have not.
beautiful,
Yes, yes. I got told about those. Yes. I have not seen them though. I need to
yep.
come and collect.
I love feathers. I don't know if you guys know that about me. I love feathers. I love anything to do with the natural animal kingdom. And this has just been, I love it so much. So Tracy, thank you so much, my darling. It was just beautiful to receive this. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who came to the event, to the next day, who chatted with us. Yes, it was great. Everyone had
It
a
was
really
so
good
great.
time, made lots of connections,
So
a few
great.
drinks. So, yeah, make sure you catch us. We'll release a date soon. And of course, coming up in about a month, 6 weeks, the Jolly Swag Tour.
Shit, are you scared, man? It's busy schedule this year.
I
Yes, the
know.
Jolly Swag Tour. I am excited. Essentially, our party of the year. Essentially, everything that we love about the live events, but over 3 days, which
Yeah.
means everyone can, really tell their story, really get to know each
Mm.
other. And fucking campfires, my favorite, and the stars. And it's just going to be like this organic unfolding as everyone just rocks up in their fucking thing that they're going to sleep in, whatever that is. And we just all sort of fit in with each other, and everyone's going to bring what they bring, man. And
Mm.
what they bring is going to be what makes up the festival. So if you're a musician and artist, you bring it, man. If you've got a market stall, a product, a service, a modality, a workshop, a talk, a speech, whatever it is, like bring it, because
Yes.
that's how this whole thing's going to unfold. Of course, we've invited the TASA crew to come down and do a formal talk. And you guys will love that. It's all on sovereignty law. And we've got a few gems in there, but mainly we're opening up to the community to show
Mm.
themselves. We've shown ourselves, people. Now we want to meet everyone else.
Yes, yeah, come and hang out. When we do the live events, that they're just a day. Some people, hang out with us on Sunday, but they've always got to go. It's always just so come and hang out for a couple of
Rush.
days, Friday night till Sunday.
Yep.
Relax, meet your people, bring, yeah, whatever you do, right? Music,
Yep. So,
whatever it might be. We're going to get some
so
screen set
excited.
up. We'll watch a few movies, have a few talks, um, dance.
So
We'll have a
our,
dance party.
I
Oh, and a
haven't
singles
told you this.
party, apparently. A singles
Yes, yes, yes. We
speed
are going to
dating.
do something
You're
with singles,
single
speed
and
dating.
looking.
Yep.
Come down.
Speed dating would be fun. So the talk that we have given to this week in Mulaney, we'll give again at the Jolly Swag Tour. Of course, we can do it like let rip, and but we have to do it in the evening because it relies on the projector. So it will be a Saturday evening talk. As opposed to a Saturday day talk. So if you're planning to come only for the day, then essentially you're coming to hang out and enjoy all the other workshops and speeches that are going on. Campbell and I will hit the stage basically as soon as the sun goes down and we can use the projector. And
Mm.
then that will be basically run throughout Saturday night. We would try our hardest to just like get through it quick, man. And
Yeah.
but you
Shortened
can drink
version.
and eat and smoke and fucking what a different vibe to be able to just like, totally just chill out and be like you're in your own environment while you're watching a show. I fucking love that. It's like your lounge room comes to life.
Yeah. So, tartariaustralia.com. You'll find tickets there and all the info you need. I do have to be self-sufficient. We are getting toilets and, we'll have some water and a few bits and pieces, a bit of cooking, but really you need to sort of, if you're going to cook, bring a burner, bring a cooker. We will have some food available. But everything on the website, tartariaustralia.com.
Yes, and actually, I would really appreciate it if you guys are thinking of coming. You know, we spoke to the Mulaney crew now. Like, I'm expecting at least 70 of you to come. But I really would bet we would be so helped by you if you bought a ticket sooner than later so we know the numbers. This particular event is very number specific, and just because we are building it from scratch and we need to set up the infrastructure to accommodate everyone. So it's very different setting it up for 50 people than it is for 250 people. So it would really help us, guys, if you just said yes to this one, if you kind of come and get your ticket sorted. And I will start sending out some emails because there's a lot of fun we can have around a campfire, Campbell. Have you ever
Mm.
tried like getting an orange and cutting off the lid and then scooping it all out and then like putting a chocolate cake mix into that orange, putting the lid back on and aluminium into the fire? Have you ever tried that?
I have never thought of such a thing.
I know, I know. Like this is like a cool, like little chocolate orange pudding you could be making yourselves and others. There is some fun
God.
things you can do with a
I think
campfire.
we
I've
definitely need some damper.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, I was
Bring
about
your
to say
damper.
that.
Yeah,
Yep, damper. Who out there knows how to make damper? Billy
damper.
tea. I mean, there's so
Obviously,
many.
marshmallows, or are they too toxic? I don't know.
No,
Natural
you can get
marshmallows.
natural ones, and also you can get bananas, and you can like slice the skin in the middle, and then fill it with chocolate chips
Chocolate.
and peanut butter. If you
Nice.
want to wrap it all back up, and you get this
Banana
like
pudding.
banana-y hot treat. I mean, anyway, use your
Mulled
imaginations.
wine.
But mulled wine, 100% will be at the bar. There will be a bar, and there will be food available, but we also, very happy for you to accommodate for yourselves and just enjoy it when you want it.
BYO.
Um, but yeah, I mean, this is like truly is. So, I would be packing thinking, okay, I need some warm clothes, I need some hot clothes, I need some rain clothes, I need some dirty clothes, maybe all of those things,
Some
maybe
good
none of those
boots.
things.
An extra
We're gonna
blanket.
bathe. Every day we're going for a trip to the to a beautiful river source. I'll be leading a convoy down there, and you'll be opportunity to wash and bathe if you want to do that. In a beautiful, crystal clear, wonderful, wonderful setting.
Mm. By the
Down near the
river.
farm. If you are planning to have a bathe or a wash, I also would like to remind you guys that this is a pristine natural environment, and whatever shampoos and soaps or
Yes.
anything of that nature that you're bringing, make sure it's as chemical free and natural as possible. But I think I shouldn't have to say that to this community. That should be a no-brainer.
Exactly. Exactly. Just
All
washing
right, and the
water.
look, Cam, the other massive question that we've been umming and ahhing and umming and ahhing about is
Ah, the furry
pets.
ones.
Yes, bless their little cotton socks. So Cam and I love pets. Like we are big fans of the animal kingdom is so bad. And so we have decided upon several yes and no's to say yes, with the clause, of course, that your pet has to be on a leash all the time. Like you need to be fully responsible for it. It can't free range in any capacity. You need to toilet it. It will have to you'll have to walk away from the campers. So obviously this is all obvious shit that I'm sure all of you do without even thinking. But yes, full responsibility for any pets that come. We don't
Mm,
want any crazy animal fights. We don't want any lost pets. We don't want any bitten arms, nothing of that sort. So we are
mm,
saying yes because we acknowledge that many of you actually travel with your animals, and to leave home without them is a whole other painful scenario. So yes, but be impeccable about it.
yes,
And
yes,
do come and introduce me to every single one of them because I do like
yes,
to meet every soul that's on the property.
exactly. But yeah, just yeah, as long as they're, well behaved, well trained, then they're welcome. But 100% you've got to look after them, keep them on. Yeah, we can't have them running around all the place, They
I
might
mean,
be
it was just
cattle up there
crazy. I
too, and
mean,
there's kangaroos, and they see a kangaroo and they'll be gone over the mountainside.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. All
Yep.
right.
So,
So
and
that's
there
it.
are snakes. There's snakes I mean, there's not going
There
to be
are
snakes.
snakes.
There will be anywhere near us this trip because we'll be so loud and noisy. But, just be cautious. You are coming into the
There
bush.
are ticks, so just yes, check your animals every day.
Having said that, Sherlock was there for almost a year and a half. He never got a tick, and then he did get
And
a
then
tick.
just as we
So
yeah,
you don't want them. Yeah. So that's Australia for you, isn't it? In its
mm,
current situation. So,
kind
Mr.
of
Purvis,
parasitic environment.
you
Yes,
know, the last show, what did we do the last show on? And it was basically raising a question that has been like on my mind ever since, which is the fucking body
the
situation.
bodies. Yeah,
The
yeah, and
bodies.
and the population. Where are all the people, alive and dead, right? What's going on here?
Well, Mr. Purvis, when I was working on the show, I went on down a rabbit hole about this because I was like, okay, let's just get some like concepts together about this topic. So, in summary of where we got to last time, we were actually talking about, this the set that graveyards are like a stagnant, static set that have basically given us the concept of death and burial but have
Yes.
never really expanded or evolved through the apparent population growth and death rates. So they've remained kind of like the cemetery behind us, just sort of like this. So you acknowledge your brain goes, oh yes, that's
Mm,
how they bury people. Oh yes,
yeah.
graveyards. Oh
And they're
yes,
always like either
tombstones.
really old and creepy with the tomb, the gravestones falling over and stuff, or they're brand new, like a military, brand new, nice, clean mode.
Yeah.
But that's all we get, right? And we don't ever see new ones. We don't see these cemeteries expanding. Um, yeah, I mean, so where are all these people going? Because there's a lot of people die every year. Like there's been, I think, was the last century, there was like billions, right? Billions of people. Where are all the graves?
Yeah, and it is interesting that they decided to like reinvent the cathedral to include graves.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So we're looking at cathedrals, right? As free energy sort of healing type machines, frequency modulators, if you want, but all about the good vibes. And of course, what do? They surround them with dead bodies. It's a grave
Yeah.
situation, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Cam and I would normally disseminate such a lofty question would be, well, I certainly would start with, okay, let's just look at what's obvious. What is obvious to me? And one thing that I would say is a comparative obviousness to me is this concept of bots.
Oh,
So bots. So we've got like this idea of, well, I mean, we live with it all the day, the social media bots, the online bots. This is this ghost realm that now exists as human beings. And we see them as comments, commentary, algorithms, websites, advertising, ads, like people, lots and lots and lots of I mean, I don't even know how many real people are left online, Campbell, and there's two of us. Here we are, there's two,
that's
but not many,
true.
not many. I mean, we
No,
just see images of people that
but
aren't people.
we just don't know. Like the whole dead internet theory.
Yeah.
Like you would get these results and it'll be like, oh, 120 million results. And then you go back 5 or 6, 7 pages and there's nothing there. So there's not all these results. And then, yeah, all the comments, even YouTube tell you they go through channels and they delete subscribers. And the reason they say they do that is they're trying to get rid of bots, right? There's bots everywhere. They start conversations, they get in, they start
How
controversy.
how
And
does YouTube,
they're not
man, like
real.
not know the difference between a human account and a bot? How do they not know? I mean, that's bullshit.
It's crap. And it's
And
interesting. You see a lot of these comments and you click on the channel and there's no content. It's a brand new channel, no nothing, no picture, and it's just clearly they're bots, right? And they sit there and talk to each other. It's really interesting. So how many people are really on the internet? And all the views and that we see on
I wonder if
YouTube
we got
and
a photo.
TikTok, we don't know that they're real. You see, oh, this video got 1 million views. Well, did it? And by 1 million humans, we just don't know.
Have you seen those pictures of like the bot factories? I was just trying to find one, but maybe I can't.
Oh,
Have you
where
seen
they
those?
have all the
Yeah.
the phones set up.
Yeah, it's just like warehouses, ceiling to floor, wall to wall of phones lined up. And they're all like commenting and like creating the narrative, swaying the narrative. So like comment, I mean, my channel is just so funny on the bot side of thing because as we all know, in like 4 years, I have got not one new subscriber, which is fucking hilarious, really. Comparatively to in real life, how many people Campbell and I meet along the way who watch our show. So I can tell you from my first-hand experience that nothing about the statistics or anything to do with the numbers of people watching YouTubes and like real in any sense of the word. Yeah, like that. Yeah, you go. Like
Yeah.
a fucking, it's like this, but like I've seen ones which are like epic in epic proportions, and
Oh
they're just
gosh.
basically
I failed.
paid.
I failed in my bot picks.
No, it's all right, buddy. Just like they basically sway the narrative. Of course, we know this. This is not new
Yeah.
information, but like I mean, I just think it's a very valid question when we start to look at, well, if the
Well,
internet is full of bots,
you
you
can you
know,
can you can buy subscribers
you
like for
can.
whatever, right? For YouTube or Facebook, whatever you're on, and they're all bots. They just created. They just created. And if people are
Because
starting channels like that, then how much of this is real?
And like we know that like today's generation, the one that's now like in their sort of teens into their 20s, they're like obsessed. You know, their
Mm,
whole concept of
yes.
economy is about likes. Their whole
Yeah.
sense of success is gauged by this. So of course there's a massive industry accommodating for
Behind
that.
that. Yeah, the dopamine
Like
effect.
so what's the fucking point? If we know that you can buy an audience and we know that no number, statistic, or algorithm online is accurate or real in any sense of the word, then we have to start looking at, well, if social media is infiltrated with, or maybe the word inflated with bots, potentially real life is too. And I
Yeah, but
think
yeah.
it's,
I mean, we know social media, right? Certain things are promoted, certain channels, certain videos, and others are, held back, shall we say,
yeah,
banned or whatever. So, yeah, what's going on in life? We covered China as well. Of course, you went there last year, and then we covered it finally hit the mainstream, right? That there's no people there.
I,
All these people are disappearing, and people are wondering where all the
China.
people are.
Mm.
And we've seen a few other videos that came out of Vegas was empty. So, the living world seems to be empty. But if we go by the numbers that they tell us, 8 billion and those figures, so the amount of people that died, there doesn't seem to be enough graveyards, right? Enough new cemeteries. And yes, well, I think what is it, 70% get cremated
I
now?
mean that we can't rely on any statistics there, but yes,
That's
the
what they
cremation
say. So
industry
we're
is
talking
epically grown.
30%.
Yep.
But even
Yep.
with those numbers, it just doesn't match. We went through
Yeah.
the US numbers in one of our other videos of how many
Oh,
people die, how much space
it's
it would
out.
take to bury them, and how many cemeteries they've got. And they were way, way, way behind,
Yeah,
like
it's out by
billions
a
of
million,
acres.
100 million or something
Yeah,
retarded like that. It's
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
insane. So, okay, so there's a lot of theories, Cam, floating around on this topic. Obviously the but we'll start with the most obvious one, which is the birth and death statistics are like completely fake,
Like,
basically. Well, of course they would be, right? Because when we trace back essentially how that works, which we'll talk about, but actually who owns the end result of that? Well, it's always going to be the same people, right? It'll
hmm,
all go back to the same corporations. And, it is a
corporations.
corporation for sure. This
Hmm.
is the business of life and death. And this is the business, as we would say, of the ghost people, Campbell.
Yes, yes. Yes, the straw men, the ghost straw men that are running around. And of
Ghost
course,
people.
this has been put out as NPCs, that people aren't, like literally, are they just projections or something? That's kind of the video game,
Well, it's a
scenario,
fair.
which yeah, we can't sort of prove or disprove that one at the moment. Um, but as far as like created people, if they're creating these numbers and creating these ghost people, all these figures for people that don't actually exist,
Mm.
then those people still need to show up in their figures of dead people.
Yeah,
So the
because
most
there's a lot of
obvious
benefit.
question, I
Hmm.
guess, is that there aren't that many people being buried or dying even, right?
That's a good. Yeah, I don't think there's very many people being buried these days. I mean, it's interesting that this one question has um, followed us through our whole truth process through decades. Like, there's one question. I mean, I know when we built the show for this Mulaney tour, it's very obvious, like when you actually bank up all the wars and genocides and just in the last 200 years, I mean, we can go
Hmm.
back through history, whether they happened or not, through the Crusades and Inquisitions and all the other nastiness that's happened since the invasion. And yeah, I mean, basically, like if you were to sort of kind of tally all that up, you're looking at least, you know, a seventh of the, maybe more, one seventh the
A
entire
lot.
population of the realm.
Mm. Yeah, I
So
saw a video on Napoleon and the battle. I think it was Waterloo. Supposed to be 50,000 mortalities, and they've only ever found two skeletons.
yeah, I know.
And,
Yes,
and
this is what
he
became so obvious to us.
yeah. So one theory he put forward is, and we've heard this before with the mummies of Egypt, is he said that they were being ground up and used as fertilizer.
Yeah. I mean, and that's actually quite a popular, that is actually quite true. Bodies, well, I mean,
Blood and
I
bone,
can't
man. We
say
used
that
to
because
use it when
nothing's
I was
true,
a
but
kid. Dad used
yeah.
to buy barrels of it from the abattoir, not human, but yeah, blood and bone.
Blood and fucking bone, which we all use in our garden. But blood and bone, people, is a commercial product. Now, you're
Mm.
going to just assume that that's like animals, right? That's our assumption on the topic. But gosh almighty, when you hold up things like blood and bone for sale up against a never evolving graveyard scenario, you think, oh, no, no, no. Uh, I mean, it became obvious to us because one of the questions that is so obvious is, you know, like when you go through these great battles and destructions and wars, or you go through the element of different cultures through history, one would assume that we are living in a realm that's just layers and layers of bodies. One would assume that
Mm.
because there's just been so much death, you know,
Yeah.
especially, you're right. So Australia is very vast, but when we go to much more smaller regions around the world, like England, for example, which is famous for all its like lovely ancient wars and warlords. You know, you would assume that you would at some point bury or dig up a body while you're excavating buildings or cities or roads or blah blah blah.
Mm.
And maybe they do mildly, but we never hear about it. You know, you'd think the everyday person would eventually come across
Yeah.
remains of bodies, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no,
Well,
it
all
never
these
happens.
battles, they tell us, would have been held fairly close, or probably under what are now cities, right? When they used to be fields, and they weren't out in the desert, were they? And so there should be, there were tens of thousands of people dying.
I
Like
mean,
there should be mass
yeah,
graveyards everywhere.
millions can.
Yeah, millions over all the
And
battles and all the centuries, in their
I mean,
story.
whole city dells were destroyed. Like you know what we saw happen in World War II, for example, with the destruction of Europe
Yeah.
and the destruction of Germany. Like these are whole city dells absolutely destroyed, and so you would say account for much death. But then you've got to ask, like, who the fuck even like gauges like the amount of death? Like the only way you could do that is if individuals were registered somewhere else. And with war, what's so famous about war is it forces terrible like immigration. It forces
Yes.
movements of
Yeah,
whole cultures
displacement. Yeah,
to
yeah,
move
yeah.
away, to escape.
Yeah,
So
and
then
all the
you've got
records get destroyed.
so they're just like, oh yeah, like 6 million Jews or 1 million Russians or 22 million Germans or like these numbers. They're so crazy that you've got to put it down to this is a death fear programming process.
Yeah,
This
and
because
numerology, right? It's all they love their numbers, but
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. I mean, even, the Bolsheviks, right? I mean, we're talking, what was that, 60 million or something
yeah,
ridiculous?
ridiculous
Like
numbers.
ridiculous
I
numbers.
mean, the colonization process, the whole, you know, go to and steal all the locals and move them to another place and enslave them, like that accounted for across Africa and Asia, like that those places accounted for like 100 million apparently. So, I mean, we're talking basically a complete, like to me, this is a completely we would never know probably or understand what's going on in this way, but it is definitely a fact, I feel, Cam,
Mm,
that something is going on with our death and births that is very nefarious. And like, if we just go straight to like, what does the idea of death mean legally? You know, like, how do we define death and how
yeah.
do we define birth? Well, we know, Cam, that when you're born, you're
Born.
given a birth certificate. When you're birthed, when you're born, you're given a birth certificate.
Yes, which is essentially not you. That's literally creating another entity. like the
It
straw man,
certainly
right? The
is.
all caps straw
Yes,
man,
fuck yes.
all that kind of stuff. And that is owned by a corporation, right? A corporation who own dead people. And this, the whole legal system, you all probably know it, they only deal with dead people. But the thing is that if you have a look at, and I got this off Mookie, if you have a look at the cards in your wallet, you'll see that they've all got different names. One might be your initial and your surname. One
Mm,
might be your full name. One might be your first and second name
yep.
with your middle initial. All different. And what that means is they're all different identities that have been created. So
Yes.
for every person that actually exists, there could be nine other ones with the same name, essentially, who are just made up, just
Your
ghosts.
ghosts,
Mm,
your own personal ghosts. So it's so interesting because I actually asked the question the other night to myself, like, when we're born and given this birth certificate and become like a legal fiction, Um, are we born into debt or are we born as an asset? Are we born automatically into debt or are we born automatically into profit? And the answer that I got to is that we're born as debt. We're born as debt. And if we play the game properly and do and be a good human being, we will become profitable. Our legal entity will become profitable. If we do all the right things, go get a car loan, a mortgage, open bank accounts,
work
go get
hard, pay
education,
your
all
tax.
the shit, go pay superannuation and taxes, we become a profitable asset. But if you're on the dole and don't do any of those things and never really own that much, then you would potentially be a fictional
Mm,
debt
yeah,
and
yeah.
retain. They don't love you guys. They don't love you that much. It's funny because that's where all the artists generally tend to live in this realm.
Mm,
Somewhere in that way. I did for many years, of course, as I'm assuming most of us have.
mm.
Um, so yeah, so what happens when you die? What happens when you die legally? I mean, and what one of you dies? So the human dies, and then what does that mean to your legal entity? Because so much is not accounted for in death, Campbell. Like honestly, when I started to look into it, there's like superannuation industry and the insurance industry.
Yeah.
They rake in like hundreds of billion, almost like the industry of death is a quadrillion-dollar industry. Quadrillion-dollar industry, accounting mainly for all of the legal assets and legal profits and legal associations that you have as your birth certificate,
Mm. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
with insurances and superannuation, for example, shitloads, billions
Mm.
just don't get claimed, don't get access, and just get redistributed throughout the network. Like so much of it, way more than we potentially have ever imagined.
Yeah, yeah, and we're all worth something. We're all our sweat equity goes in to produce all these, taxes and blah blah blah. But also like sovereigns of countries actually um, should receive their percentage of the wealth of the country they're in, which is all the exports, all the trade, all that kind of stuff that we see going offshore. That's all held in trust, a lot of that stuff.
Mm.
So the way that they can access that wealth and those trusts is at death, right?
Oh, it's so crazy. Some of the I got some so I've got actually got some numbers here. I'll just find it in a minute. But essentially, when your birth certificate's registered, you guys probably don't know this, but it gets registered with the Department of Commerce. Did you know that?
No, they're the
The
common
Department of
people, are we? The
Commerce.
commoners.
So imagine then if we've got like seven ghost versions of us. We've got a ghost version with Medicare. We've got a ghost version with the ATO. We've got a ghost version with Centrelink. We've got a ghost version with our bank accounts. We've got a ghost version with our mortgage. We've got all these things we don't offer with our utilities company. Like every service that you're with your rates, land and rates taxes, with your car register, all of these are like little ghost beings of yourself
Mm,
that are, walking around and living your life for you, essentially. And then you, the human being, has to extend all the energy to trade for the money to pay for the debt. So you, as a human being, are giving all your time and energy to basically funding these ghosts, if you like, which is really fucking weird. and superly ironic. Like, how weird is this? This is such a fucking weird game we're in. This is a weird reality, Cam. Like this, that is so weird.
Mm.
Don't you? How did like diabolically clever and terribly weird?
Therapy wheel. Who came up with this,
Terribly
man? It's
weird.
crazy.
Fucking what?
But I mean, they're into necromancy, right? Like they're into death. It's a death cult. We've heard this before, and you look at the major, religious practices, and they're all based around weirdness, dead people on crosses and things, and death, right? But that's
Oh,
what they deal in. That's what a corporation is, right? The corpse. The mortgage, right, is the death pledge. It's all about death, 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 and debt, debt, debt. And yeah, so they're literally creating all these alternate us's, NPCs maybe, right? And you don't see
yeah.
them walk down the street, but they exist on paper and they may exist, in the digital realm as well, right? And they just create all these, made up people. And unless we come back and claim that we're alive and standing in front of them, well, they just hold all that stuff in trust and milk us for all we got, basically.
Basically, we are a trust. We're our own trust. When we're born, we're a trust. Exactly. All right, I'll give you some stats, right? And then we'll get back to the discussions about the bodies through history. So, this is Australia specific. So, in Australia, superannuation and retirement accounts. So, all that unclaimed super gets absorbed by the state. Obviously, all the trust managers, ultimately by BlackRock, and then ultimately by the Jews. It all gets absorbed. Boom. Could that this have no doubt? It is a JUEW industry
Yeah,
here, of
yeah, yeah,
course.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
I mean, the head
estimated
of
in
BlackRock is,
Australia per year,
sorry,
just in the absorption of unclaimed super, $16 billion. That's in
unclaimed
unclaimed super that goes
a
back into the
year.
system a
Wow.
year. Life insurance payouts. So if no one claims them, which happens way more than people think, then they're held in trust, invested, or absorbed. Oh, okay, so this is interesting, right? And this basically will probably make the whole thing make sense. Is that when you can have a statistic that says you have a mortality rate of this much and a birth rate of this much, that actually then, because the way the governments have been set up by the same people, right? That sways the amount of funding, inverted commas, that go towards those industries. So the more people dying, then the aged care sector gets massive injections, right, of cash and capital. It becomes like on paper. So in aged care sector alone in Australia, $30 billion a year. It's a $30 billion a year industry just alone, and that's all based on projected deaths. Right? So the
Projected
more
death.
projected deaths they can create, the
Yes.
more that industry grows. So the more births they create and therefore projected deaths, phew, so much money, so much money.
Interesting. What about
Obviously, the
jails? Jails
well,
like 9,000 person, 9,000 what a day was it? Do they get paid like these Serco prisons and that? $9,000 a day for holding a prisoner.
is that per prisoner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's such a big
It's
industry. Oh my
astronomical
God.
numbers, man.
Ah, dear. All right, I'm moving down to my stat information. Um, all right. So trust bonds on dead people, right? So your birth certificate doesn't just vanish if you die, by the way. It just doesn't, legally, it doesn't vanish if you die. Oh, he's a bit tired because we're doing this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, unusual time. Light up a joint, man. Get into it. All right. So, all right. So if the person dies, but no liquidation happens, that all goes in, remains in the trust, right? Like a zombie trust. That's their legal words. A zombie
Is
trust.
that what
I
it's
mean, get
called? A
fucked. You
zombie
can't.
trust.
A zombie trust. Honestly, anyway, so each trust may be valued between, and this is according to all your ghosts, right? 502 million over a lifetime. But that's all of this, like, that's all the assets that are creating profit for the industry. So your birth is generally speaking, an average human being is sitting between 500 and 2 million. Even if in your actual lifetime you knew nothing about this money and never had any sort of anywhere near that sort of money. Anyway, all right, so if all right, in Australia, if 180,000 people die per year, for example, That ends up being in potential trust liquidation assets, 360 billion in just Australia alone. It's just
Wow.
so crazy.
This is how they're getting their billions and trillions, right?
Yep.
We used to talk about millionaires being rich. Now, a millionaire is someone who just owns a house, right? It's billionaires and trillionaires. We're going to start saying trillionaires, man. And it's ridiculous,
Yes.
right? A
Oh my
billion
God.
compared to a million is just, and then a trillion. You can't even, like,
And then a quadrillion. Don't think I've ever said that word in my life, Campbell. A
no,
quadrillion.
man,
I've never
a
needed to
trillion.
go to such. I mean, when I think of things like quadrillions or trillions, that's like another dimension to me. That's
Mm.
just like, it
Well,
doesn't
you
even
can't
exist.
imagine it. You just
Well,
can't.
because it can't exist.
Yeah, like if you get like $100 bills and stack them on just on top of each
Yeah,
other, $1 million is about a meter high. A
it just can't
billion dollars
exist.
is like a 20-story building. So a trillion, I mean, who knows?
So, I mean, then we look at sort of the idea, okay, well, what our eyes show us is that the world is definitely not overpopulated. This is what our eyes show us.
Yeah.
If we go anywhere in the world, you will fly for a long time. And you will fly over a lot of land and water, but a lot of land, and there's not anyone there. You will
Yeah.
fly for a long time over a lot of land that doesn't have anyone living on it. I mean, which you can tell, And then, like, if we just
Mm.
based it on Australia, for example, you can drive around Australia in like a year and see like everything, and you will notice that there's hardly any people in this country.
Mm. Totally, totally, man. It's the same everywhere until you hit the cities, obviously, where they pack everyone into a small space. But apart from that, everywhere that I've been, everywhere that you've been, overseas, nobody's crowded apart from the actual cities.
Well, India was crowded.
Well, India, I
I,
haven't
the,
been to India, so yes,
But I
India.
mean, not that you're right. It's actually only the cities. Like he's right
Mm,
there. Like there is population hubs, obviously little kingdoms, little kingdoms in our current realm that
okay.
have a lot of people in them, you
Mm,
know. And like I saw that in India and I saw that in Cairo.
mm,
I didn't see it anywhere in China, not even in the big cities, anywhere. Did it ever feel overcrowded? Everything felt sparse and undercrowded. Um, Morocco and Jordan completely undercrowded. And for the most part, Egypt. Egypt was just Cairo itself, that tiny little epicenter in Egypt. But apart from that, you're traveling vast lands to go and see this realm. It is 100% to our eyes not overcrowded.
mm.
But what do they benefit from the program of overpopulation? Like, how many of
Well,
their agendas are
yeah, well,
based
yeah,
on
exactly.
that
Climate
idea?
change, right? And all the
Ugh,
carbon tax stuff that's going
ugh,
on, all this stuff they're bringing in, all these rules, all the tracking, electric cars, like, all this crap.
yep.
Right? Because it's all our fault. Cows farting, so they're killing them off, trying to push fake meat. Like it's never
Oh,
ending.
we're running out of food. We're
Running out
running
of
out of food,
food,
except like the
oil,
food
running out of
wastage.
oil.
Food wastage is at like fucking all-time high. Like
Hmm.
food wastage is insane. People are living off the food, but we're running out of
Oh,
food. We're
yeah,
running out of places to farm. We can't do it. We're going to have to step in with scientific industrial solutions. Like
problem,
whatever.
reaction, solution, man.
There's no places for new homes. We're running out of land. We certainly can't expand cemeteries in any capacity. So, I mean, it really does underplay to have a big birth and death population statistic. It underplays every single one of their agendas. So then we can absolutely be certain those statistics are only being offered, not in truth, but to serve an agenda, like every fucking other thing in our lives.
Hmm. Totally, totally, totally,
What
totally.
makes it what makes it so ironic, man, is that we're dealing with ghosts. I mean, that just
It's a
blows my
ghost
mind.
round, man. There's a
I just
ghost
get
in the
like,
machine. Yeah,
it's just
yeah, I
fucking
know, right?
wild.
But we're stopping cows farting because we're overpopulated with ghosts and fictionary people that only live on paper.
Yep, only live on paper. And when you hear this agenda, as their narrative on it, they'll always say things like, the cities are overpopulated. Like everyone's moving back to the rural locations. The rural locations are overpopulated. There's not enough space anywhere. And yet, everywhere we travel, rural, any country is basically underpopulated
Totally.
with your own eyes. That's what you'll see.
Mm-hmm. Totally, man. Totally. So there's no way there's 8 billion people. It's not physical people. There's no evidence for it. And everywhere we look, there's evidence to disprove it, right? Like
Everywhere.
there's not the population, there's not enough people being buried. All this stuff that we hear about, we know there's agendas behind it, and it's just all used to project, profits basically
Ugh.
and restrictions for us, right? More laws. Because
Man,
we're
like
buggers.
if what would be your like your most like what would be your number if you were to give the popular? I mean, I would be sitting at
Yeah.
around 2 billion.
Yeah, I'd say sort of 1.5 to 2,
Yeah.
I think at the
Yeah.
most.
Wow. So there's
Yeah.
like so let's take 6 billion out of the chain.
Asian, yeah, yeah. And that
Let's take
changes
six.
everything. They can't push their climate change with that agenda with that. And there was that guy who got all the populations of all the cities, the biggest cities, and then every city over 100,000, and then he sort of worked out how many towns, and I think he came up with like I think was it 1.2 or something billion, like way
Mm,
down there, just going off the
way
stats that they give
down.
us, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Way
and
down. So
so,
if we took say if we got it down to 2 billion and take out 6 billion, just to be very conservative about this, guess how much that would be in loss? If just today, if it was shown that this is all bullshit and all the ghosts were taken out of it, the loss to the financial institutes that like love this shit, 3 quadrillion. 3 quadrillion in potential, I guess we call them phantom funds, potential
yeah,
phantom wealth. 3 quadrillion. And then you've
Andy,
got to
Andy
say,
Dog.
wow, like if you look at fucking crypto, and isn't it funny that crypto is called crypt?
Yes, yeah, it is from encrypted, but yes, it is crypt. Yes.
I mean, come on, we've got basically maybe 6 billion ghosts that are funding the economy, and those 6 billion ghosts, if removed, become 3 quadrillion dollars,
Mm.
whatever the fuck that is. Because when I say 3 fucking quadrillion dollars, it makes me think of freaking mining for crypto in the fourth fucking dimension of this crazy concept of this new economy. Like it is so crazy, man.
Well, it shows you how easy it is for them to manipulate all these money markets and stock markets if they're playing with three-quarters of the population that don't exist. If they've got all that population to say
Fucking
to
hell.
buy and sell stuff, then they can just play with the markets, right? They can make crypto go up and they can make it crash, which they do.
Yep.
So they're playing with Strawman, man. It is the zombie apocalypse, right? We just can't see them.
My God. I know. So they filled in the concept of the zombie apocalypse with their lovely little movies. But in reality, it is the
It
zombie
is.
apocalypse because it's like there's 7 zombie versions of Kelly out there. One called Medicare Kelly, one called fucking ATO Kelly, one called Passport Kelly. All of
Mm.
them out there just acting as my little zombie crew, my little ghost crew, costing me time and effort, but like funding. So literally what we're saying is that our entire economy is funded of phantoms, which makes crypto and the whole crypto Bitcoin market makes so much more sense because it all feels like fiction. It all feels like one mass fucking delusion.
Created out of nothing, right? But this is how they're gaining their wealth, right? It's all this perceived wealth and futures trading and blah, blah, blah. But literally, it's all built off our backs, and they're just, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story.
It's
They're
a fucking
just
crazy story.
multiplying us because they can make money when they do it. And then
Man,
when
like,
they
come
get
on.
rid of the
This
birth
is fucking
certificate, they cash in.
Come on, guys. Like, if you guys, if
Yeah.
like to think about this, like to sit down and have a proper chew on it. My God, this game that we're in, this thing that we're in, it's just so, I mean, it's so hyper imaginative from the diabolical perspective. Like, we're
Mm.
we're sitting in the world run by a mad psychopathic fucking
He needs a catch.
mastermind because like
Mm,
our entire economy that keeps us working and enslaved and in debt
mm.
from birth
It's like
is
it's just like all these supervillains that we see in their crazy,
oh my
crazy
God.
schemes they come up
It's so
with to steal all
funny.
the money from the world and that. And that's literally what's happening. But it's crazier. It's even
It's
crazier.
crazier.
Remember
All right.
Superman when the dude tried to he went and he found all the like the fractions of cents that were floating around. So
No,
like when
that
people
sounds
buy
fun.
things and you end up with a percentage of a cent, and he went and found them all. And it was millions of this was back in the 80s, it was millions of dollars. And he stole it and became a big supervillain. But this is what they're doing. Like you can't have quarters of cents, right? They don't exist. And he was finding them though, and he was making money. And this is what they're doing. They're getting stuff that doesn't exist, and they're turning it into other stuff that doesn't exist, called
Which
money that is not gold backed, right? Fiat.
Well, I mean, they took history that doesn't exist and
I
turned it
took
into
it.
the education system. They
Yeah.
take food that doesn't exist and package it pretty pictures. Like it's just this is their thing. They're
Mm.
mimics and copies. So I just don't think everyone's really associated the concept of life and death to be so integral to this concept. Like
It's all
the
about
ghosts,
profit and profits,
yeah.
right? I mean, because what do we have in the Bible and other books is we have prophets, right? Jesus
Fucking
was a
prophets.
prophet.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so true. Oh,
Mm.
that's so true. Fucking excellent. Yes, we have lots of prophets in the Bible.
Mm. Quite
I
prophetic,
think,
right?
I think it's the highest grossing book in the world. I think it's made more money. We should have a look at how much money the
Made
Bible's
more
made,
than
but
Harry Potter, man.
yeah, it's full of prophets. That's
It's full of
fucking for
prophets.
sure. In fact, any book
Probably.
full of prophets makes a
Yeah,
very good sum of money.
good profit, man. Yeah, you get the
But
right profit and you'll get the right profits.
so, all right, yeah, that's true. The better the profit,
The
better the
better the
profit.
profits.
So, all right, so we've got this like crazy concept of basically a ghost population. And we can see like we could spend hours validating that by following who benefits from it. But ultimately it's
Mm.
going to get you through all the sort of state organizations into the governments and then into the corporations, through the banks into the corporations. So it's all the same story. There's no special new character in this or anything. This is like, except for our new ghost and phantom fucking family that follow us around.
Casper and his crew.
Yes. So then we have to say, like, when we look at history from the perspective of death, from the perspective of bodies, and we ask where are the bodies, like we can say that most of them never existed in the first place. That no one is, that there's an agenda to form a narrative to basically keep you programmed to like fear death, to program to fear death, that how many, that you are just a weak, that you're lucky to be alive, is what they're trying to say. You're lucky you made it this far. Look at all these other people that have died and you didn't die. You didn't get raped and slaughtered and beheaded. You haven't done that. You're so lucky. You're alive. So bless your lucky stars and
Oh,
happily just pay
thank
your
you.
taxes because you're in a good country and you're alive and you haven't died yet. We haven't killed you yet. And look at all the other people through history that died. Like history is full of die. You go through any of the school books from any grade, and those kids are being taught about essentially unconsciously about the amount of people who have died in the past.
Mm. Yeah, but again, where are all the bodies?
Yeah. All right. So
Where
they
are
don't, so
all
let's just assume that that was ridiculous
bullshit?
and
Yeah. And
things
of course we know the
people.
time factor's wrong. We know they push time right out. So that just doing that
Yep.
creates another billion bodies that don't exist,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. But if we like bring it back in to what we can observe sort of in the last couple of hundred years, like um, one's going to say that this is the business of death for them. And when did they start introducing birth certificates? Do you know that question? I don't know. Have a look. I don't even know the answer to that.
I think it
When
was
did the birth
over the
certificate become
100.
a thing? Because people used to bury their bodies in their backyards, and you
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
have generations of body. But then, if you trust what's happening with history from one perspective, no one gets to stay in their backyard for very long. Not the way the game is rigged. You get moved on. as often as possible. They love moving you on. They don't want you to stay very long. They don't want you to stay. So, in the fact that the bodies are not accounted for throughout mainstream history, we can assume that they've just basically been dramatically inflated and never existed in the first place. Right? We
Mm.
can start there.
So
But
basically, the 19th century, it says, so the 1800s, interesting time, right? Probably around the 1850s somewhere, I would think, was when birth certificates were introduced.
well, what an excellent, clever. Who introduced them? Because we
Well, I
trace it back
mean,
to who, but it
I
doesn't
think
matter
it'd be
because they're
people who
dead.
know about boats, right? It's all about maritime and birth, like a boat birth.
Yep, yep. And the birth in the court. Okay, so, but
There's,
here's the wild card, Cam. Here's something. This is the wild card. We can account for mainstream history, right? And tell and say that it's all been inflated and no one could account for it anyway. But when it comes to this concept of giants and any sort of potential mythical non-human being that walked amongst potentially the populations, the humans, like
Mhm.
if we just take it back just only, 100 years, we don't often find, I mean, I know that there's obviously the potential that they find things that we'd ever hear about, but we ourselves don't often find like anything that would represent anything of the past in our ground. We don't often find, well, we don't find the
Yeah,
skeletons
yeah.
of unusual creatures or the gigantic skeletons. I mean, I've seen pictures on the internet, so either they have found some or
Yeah, well, we do
that's
have the
fake.
Smithsonian in there, but so I've heard they've found, some giant bones. But yeah, like with cryptids and unicorns and things. I mean that, there is that weird museum that has fairies in it. So there's kind of a couple, but I mean, it's the same with people. If these were populations of creatures, there should be lots and lots and lots, right?
I mean, come on. What about all the animal bodies? What about all the things? I mean, come on. Like, if we're being
Well, it was
taught that
like we
we've
were
got a
talking about,
history,
yeah, last week we were talking about birds. Like birds don't live very long, right? There's lots and lots and lots of them, but how often do you see a dead bird? Like you don't, right? You think they should be everywhere, kind of.
it's true, Campbell. We don't often see a dead bird. We don't often see dead animals. In fact, most people only see dead animals on the road.
Mm.
Honestly, if you think about your whole lifetime here in Australia, when have you seen a dead animal that's not a pet? Like that, usually it's roadkill, and that's usually the death that occurs in front of your face. But if
Mm.
you just walk through the bush or walk through the farm, or walk anywhere, you're not going to encounter many dead animals. At least not in relation to the amount that we would think we
There should
would. At
be,
least
yeah.
skeletons.
Yeah, yeah. Bits and pieces you would think, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
I get
most
animals
time
eat animals.
yeah. I mean, even you just don't see it, right? Even in the deepest, darkest jungles, you don't, in movies, you don't hear about it in books. It's just, and everyone will say, well, they get eaten quickly. And yeah, not, a lot of them would. Um, but there should be signs, I would think.
You would think
Because we're
so.
talking like, a lot of animals, because they're all short-lived as well, right? They have
Yep.
10 life cycles in
Billions,
one. Yeah.
trillions.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. So, okay. So that's the wild card. Like, it's not just that there's a fabricated ghost population. It's just that there's also a realm that doesn't have evidence of much actual death. Uh,
Mm.
so, and even when you said the other day that, we were talking about the Middle East, and it's so true that, it's the most fucking bombed piece of shit house land left in the
Come
world. I
on.
mean,
It's the cradle of civilization,
oh my God, it's
because that's
so
where it would
fucked.
pop up, right?
No one
It
can live there. Like,
would
it's
not pop
not a
up in the
livable.
Amazon rainforest where you've got water and lush stuff and food. It's going to pop up in the middle of a desert.
Not only a desert,
With
a
no river there.
crumbling, bombed, destroyed,
Hmm.
no infrastructure left desert, no beauty left, total death and decay. And yet we've got pristine areas everywhere we look. Everyone who's here on this podcast can go and look at a pristine area within minutes of where they live.
Hmm. yeah. So it's, I mean, I've wanted that my whole life. Like, why would civilization pop up in, bloody Sumeria, right? Because there's magical rivers there. And the other one was Egypt, which is exactly the same, right? But it has a
Yep.
magical river too, right? It used to flood and bring
Yeah,
them
it's
food.
true. It is the magical river. The
Magical
most
river.
magical river I ever saw was the chocolate one in Willy Wonka's chocolate
Ah,
factory.
yes, that
I
was
thought
quite
that
magical.
was truly a
Yeah,
magical river.
just don't get
But
sucked up the thing.
yeah, don't do that. Um, but yeah, so basically we've got this wild card of okay, so this whole realm seems not to accommodate the next layer of the dead bodies. It appears that bodies do not stick around. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and Facebook of grave diggers coming out and horrifyingly showing that all the graves are empty, that this concept of caskets are a weird thing, but and the caskets with metal around them are weird, like this idea of coffins, like and coffers again, go back to the
Coffins and
fucking money.
coffers.
Yep.
Nice.
Coffers and coffins, back to the money thing. Like our whole economy, people, it's based on dead zombies. I'm just saying, right? Coffers, the whole language.
Hmm.
But it's interesting and weird. Like the body, the skeletons that remain in the crypts,
Yes, like
right? Or
underneath
remain in the
Paris and yeah.
or remain in the tombs, entombed.
Yeah,
They've gone
all
to
the
a lot of
churches,
fucking effort
the
to
churches that are
entomb them.
made from bones and nice little sculptures to revere God's creation. I don't know. It's very
So there
weird.
seems,
Yes,
yeah,
millions
it's
of them,
weird.
they say.
So we've got like they're like a set. They're like a set.
But
And they go to a lot of effort to like make sure that set remains a set.
mm, yeah, and I mean how it's very what's the word? Sacrilegious to to take bones apart and to turn them into bits of art.
Oh, it's like saying the J word.
And in France, the story is that they dug up all the bodies because the cemeteries got full and they just moved them underground, put them in caves. And as they were doing it, they just sort of made little art installations out of these bones. But then everything we get told about death is, oh, it's all about worship and it's all about respect and all this kind of stuff. When it's like that they're into death.
It's akin
It's a
to being
death world.
anti-Semitic. It's
Like
akin to
not
being
for us.
anti-Semitic.
It's yeah, anti-Semitic.
It's the same thing. Can't talk about this shit. You can't engage with this stuff. Death is death. Don't disrespect the dead.
No.
Take your nose out of this.
Well, it's
You
weird, isn't it? Because there's
Neanderthal.
still that law. If you do bury a family member in the backyard, then it's hallowed, sacred ground. They can't come on, but they're so disrespectful to death, themselves, right? If we look at what's been done with all the bones and all this stuff and profit from it,
Campbell.
it's
If
crazy.
I if if I buried you in the backyard, man, like I'd be in jail.
Yeah, I know,
If I
right?
just like
But
Campbell
you'd
has
own the
died, I'm going
land,
to
Kelly.
bury him.
You'd own the land from jail.
Yeah, that's right. I'll own the land and Campbell's mortal bones. Um, so so this is interesting.
So,
So like because it does lend itself, Cam, to the
mm,
idea that this is not a physical realm.
yes, yes, and we had a talk a couple of weeks ago about all this stuff that's going on and all the information we get and things about those flags that are false and all this kind of stuff and rah 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 and how real is it? How true is it? I mean, we could literally be the humans, right? The little groups of people that we know, and everything else is just this overlay of ghosts and zombies and things that doesn't
Well,
exist and stories that
it's
don't
leading that
exist. And
way.
this is the thing that we all know the news is crap. So what if it's really all fake? If all this stuff is fake and
Yeah.
it's all because I mean, obviously from our perspective, it always happens to other people. We're not saying that, bad things don't happen to people, but it's getting to the point where, we've spoken to people overseas and it's like, oh, we saw there was a tornado or something. And they're like, no, haven't seen anything. It's like, what do
Yeah.
you mean?
Ooh.
So how much of this realm is imagined and is just
Mm-hmm.
paper and just maybe entities playing with us, right? And literally not doing anything actually wrong, but just putting it in our mind, all this stuff, so they can create more dead people and profit off us, right? But without actually breaking these, karmic laws. I mean, it's worth thinking about, I think.
Oh, mate, it's
It's a
so,
paper
yeah.
world, right?
Mm. I mean, either like the only two options I think in my mind is, well, maybe there's three. Is one that this is not a physical realm and the game does not account for needing to keep the bodies laid here in a visual context. It just basically, when we pass, our body is taken out of the system, deleted, erased, gone. Like,
Mm.
it's done. It's like a character dies in a computer game. It's just like, but they don't then go to a funeral and then go and bury that person and then 5 years later in the computer game go back and check if the body's there. Like it's just like they're just gone,
They're gone.
from the whole thing. So that's one concept which I think we probably the
They
second one would
consider it.
be around the lines of something about the earth consumes the bodies.
Yeah.
Now, if we were to take this from a physical concept and not a energetic concept or not a like a simulation concept, then I mean we could definitely say that there's a whole underground world down there that we know nothing about, deep, forbidden, ancient civilizations that could easily be given or consuming or finding or part of the layer of their world is the consumption of blood and bones.
Mm.
Maybe there
Sodium
could be,
brain, right?
yes. Um, Third option, maybe there's like some, magical worms, crypt worms that go through and like just underground and to eat everything that's organic or something. I don't know. So, I mean, we just don't know. Those
Yeah,
are
so
just
they
theories.
naturally, yeah, get broken down like but much faster than we're told.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they
So they
tell us they
broke.
find a bone, right? And it's 10,000 years
That's
old.
right.
Yeah.
That's why I think when I look at you get the images of the giant skeletons that go through, you've seen them, right? They're always in some exotic location and there's like some three little black Indians or
Yeah,
something, men are just
yeah.
sort of like tiny and there's this huge skeleton and they've excavated it, but no, it's not on the news and blah blah. Like you would think if that would those bones appear not to be have composed at any concept at all. But
Right.
then if you look for the bones of humans or animals, they seem to be very quickly composted down and completely deleted, including the skull and the bones. Maybe could account for something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be, yeah, could be a possibility. Obviously, that the paper thing
Maybe.
that they never existed, is another possibility.
Yeah, well, I think that's, but without take that out of the equation because I think that's
Yeah,
probably the
that's
main
part in
culprit
there.
here.
Yeah. But even if we do that, yeah, then we're probably still, not enough dead bodies, right? Not enough graves, not enough anything.
And
Um,
of course, yeah.
there you
The
go.
last horrible one is what you've just mentioned, which is gets recycled into the food and cosmetic and
Yes, that's
pharmaceuticals industries. Maybe
and
is the
fertilizer.
underpinning. I mean, you think about pharmaceuticals, how the fuck do they even create these products that are like even understand how the human body works and then feed it all back to us? Like most of these products need some form of, say, collagen, for example, or fats, or so they'll call them down to their like
Lipids.
amino acid level. You don't even know what they're talking about. But essentially, urine, essentially the modern or the pharmaceutical cosmetic industry is underpinned by human DNA. Woo!
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gross.
Gross. And then there's the whole conversation of, the fast food industry and the elites, right? And tunnels and things like this. And certain things they extract from, with adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, so it's like we know we're commodities to these people, but how much? Like it looks like literally they want to use every little piece of us, right? We're worth. I mean, and you hear it in the law, the whatever you want to call it, sovereign law sort of movement. Um, that we're worth a lot of money dead. I mean,
Oh,
because they're also selling our bits and pieces and we end up as fertilizer.
I mean, just
Because
another
that,
thing,
that would
right?
account for. that video of that grave digger, this guy who got a part-time job as a grave digger, and he was had to take a casket out or something, and it was empty, and he started asking questions, and they were like, "Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to."
Yeah.
So, like, even if they are, even the ones that they are burying, they may not be there. They may just be burying caskets.
I mean, for sure. Like, unless you're seeing the body, but like, think of the whole process, right? Actually,
Mm.
if you go to the funeral home and you see the body, and the body's been accounted for, and then you watch it being lowered into the ground, you don't watch it being covered with dirt, right? Or you see, usually at this point, you leave the cemetery, and the covers on it, and then the people come afterwards and fill it in. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you think
yeah.
about all the people,
They do
Cam,
the
who
ceremonial little toss of one shovel load, right? And that's about it.
And to think of all the people that get cremated, which I think is a bile practice, by the way. I would never fucking do that. And I hope that Campbell will bury me in a hole in the backyard and go to jail versus burning my fucking bones, man. I think, like, imagine with the cremation
That
industry,
offering.
yes,
Mm.
you can watch. I know with my grandmother, I think we watched her body. Well, we watched something, was it my grandmother, go into this big thing, and then that was it. So, I mean, if 80% of the world are in cremation now, basically once you hand the body in for cremation, that's it. You just get the ashes at the end. No one sees what happens to the fucking bodies, man. Like no one sees it.
No,
Like there's no accountability or transparency there at all for anyone. So, hello. I mean, as gross as it is, people like, McDonald's could certainly be buying all of those bodies. I mean, gosh, our world's weird. I mean, can't believe
it's
I'm even
so
saying
weird.
this
But
shit,
we've
man.
all heard about the DNA in the burgers, and
Fuck.
there's more than one story out about that. And then the whole, where are all the cows and chickens conversation, right? Not just humans, but like, I saw a video earlier, and he was saying, I think consumed worldwide 1 billion chickens a day.
Yeah.
He's like, where's all the
Yeah.
chickens? Because that's a
Yeah.
lot, right? If they're living to 6 months, then that's like a lot, like 160 billion chickens or something a year or
Yep. Yep.
more. Like,
I
there's all the
ran that
chicken
question.
farms.
I ran that question through chat. That was the one I ran through chat, and I wanted to get the stats on that. And chat was bullshit, by the way, because what chat was telling me is we outfarm that the need for what the meat we need for hamburger consumption worldwide every day is like 1% of the amount of cattle and meat that we produce and kill.
Jeez.
Now,
Can
like
I
I
pick up
know
the
this bullshit
game?
because obviously my world is farming, and I'm telling you now, go back to your eyes. Go and look with your own eyes just go around Australia. Go and take 2 years to go around Australia or any other country in the world, and you're going to note something really unusual. There are hardly any farms. You're going to note that there are farms, of course. We have rural bands everywhere, but to the extent of the amount of food you would need to tend to just 1 billion chickens. I'm talking about livestock here, but just the chickens, man.
Mm.
Like it's crazy. You couldn't build the industrial scale, even if you were doing it all within factories. You still couldn't build the industrial scale. You could not build the land. For cows, for example, one cow every 5 acres is what's considered to be regenerative, at least. One cow
In
every five
Australia,
acres,
not in the
right?
Netherlands.
But then even if you go to the worst case scenario of those feedlots, like horrible feedlots, like have any of you ever passed a feedlot? I mean, have you actually physically just happened to be driving past one? Like it's really freaking rare. Like, yes, they exist, of course, but to the
Hmm.
capacity, where is this some magical continent where we're breeding and slaughtering animals that we don't know about? Because they're just, using your own eyes. They don't
Like,
exist.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
at that capacity.
Abattoirs, you see them, around, or they're around, but yeah, they're not on every corner, right? Like,
Not at
and
all.
they should be going 24/7, and they should be everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
And
To
that's just
accommodate.
slaughtering. That's only half the process, right? So it's
I mean, animals take up space. A cow will take up space. If you want to get a cow
and
from a baby to an
Yeah,
edible product at the end, that's a journey that takes up a lot of space and a lot of food.
a
So
lot of
even if we
time,
don't
right? What's that,
all
like
the
two,
time,
3 years or something?
and even if we don't account, Cam, for like the amount of cows, the space that an amount of cows would require to fit these statistics, like then you've got to say, okay, well they're all fucking in some horrible dark feedlots away from the public eye that we can't see. Well, even to do that, you would need to be producing food for those animals if they're in feedlots
Yeah.
that far outweigh the sustainability of any way of doing it naturally
Well,
at all.
that's the other thing, right? I mean, it's one thing to have a cow wandering around nibbling on grass, but we know like it's now a thing, right? Like it's expensive, like grass-fed cow. So most of them
I
that they're
know.
telling us at least that they're growing the food for them. They're grain fed. So
Grass-fed
they need all
cows.
these farms to feed the cows. And if they're all being done inside, there'd be industrial sheds everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah, you
would
can't
just
hide
see,
that
you'd
shit.
be
It
in an
stinks.
aeroplane, you'd just be seeing them everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And really, they would have the land for it. Because as you travel on an airplane, you will see a lot of empty land in every continent. They would have, but you don't see anything. It's just empty land.
mm.
It's just like I often, when I'm flying, Cam, I often think, fuck, man, like no one lives down there. You can't live like what are these regions? Like if you were to actually do this in a car, like what landscape would you be going over? It's just like being colored in some simulated way, just to be like, so it's brown sort of down there colored in, but like nothing's actually there. I
Yeah,
mean, how
yeah.
much do you see that when you're flying? So
Oh,
much.
yeah, all the time. I mean, I always wonder when I'm flying and I'm staring out the window and you just sort of see this. Ooh,
Yeah.
could be a movie, man,
I mean,
playing
wouldn't that
on
be
the
that would be a heck of fun.
window.
Oh
Like
my
I'm
God.
just like, am I actually
Ah,
going anywhere, or am I just sitting still in a plane and they're running around outside me changing the set? And when they
oh my God.
leave
Can you
me off, I'll
imagine?
be in Amsterdam set. Like
Wow,
that's what
that
it
would
looks
be head
like.
fuck. Well, I mean, conceptually, that's entirely viable concept.
Well, if
You know,
everything's energy and it's all projected, then that makes it very viable, right?
you just go into like this
Everyone gets
tube
in, they just
thing,
go ping, and it changes the outside, and they just say, "Oh, we'll just leave them in there for 30 hours just to make it seem real."
just to charge them more,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, to charge them more money. Because I mean,
Man,
we know there's not enough fuel in the planes to go where they say they're going. I mean, but wouldn't that be fun? I mean, I often think that, like, what if we're just like almost like on one of those boards, like you walk and you can move in that, but you actually never go anywhere. It's just everything around you is changing.
oh, well, that's a fucking, we could talk about that
It's a
because
whole nother
that's just
story,
like
yes.
a virtual
It is.
realm. I mean,
Virtual
yep,
realm, right?
yep.
Holodeck.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Oh, damn. All
It's a
right.
crazy
Well,
one.
shit. Okay. So basically, we've got an economy that's founded on zombies. We've got the absence of bodies because they're inflated numbers, but also maybe because the simulation, if it is that, doesn't bother
Or they're
filling it
being
in and leaving it there. Just
repurposed.
repurposes, deletes, erase from the reality. Or we've got some organic process happening that's eating through the bodies way past what we've ever been taught. And I guess when you look
Yeah.
at the scripts, and sorry, when you look in these old 1800 graves, or we look in the ones under the cathedrals or whatever, and you open them and you see a skeleton, so then everyone, and which we've all seen in actually in our tourism programming, where we've gone and programmed ourselves with
The
tourism,
best ones are
we've
when it's a
all seen,
skeleton, but it's still got some clothes on. It's like
yeah,
everything, the whole body's rotted, but the clothes
yeah,
didn't.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's covered in cobwebs and
yeah,
dust
cobwebs, yeah, yeah.
in an enclosed space. But either way, it's like there it is, and you get this idea in your head that all graves have the bodies in. They don't really have to, they just have to show the set a few times, enough times that we would like, accept that that's the case.
It's not like we can or would check, right? Even if
Yeah,
we
you would
wanted
never
to,
check, right?
there's so much strong programming around it that you would never desecrate a grave, right?
Well, you'd be in jail.
Yeah,
That's
apart
probably
from that,
treason.
treason, yes. Either that or you'd be invited into some secret society club.
I mean, look, I mean, the only way we're going to know a few of these things is if we actually just go and find an old grave and dig it up. Like, that would be one way to actually know if skeletons are in there and if they've not been composted down and they're still there and they've remained there. If
Mm.
I die soon, Kev, I give you permission to wait a while and then go dig me up and find out for true, for certain,
Oh, thanks,
like
mate.
what happens to the body. Do I just suddenly disappear and you're just like, holy shit, she's not there? Or does something eat me and it's gone? I don't know. Either way, like I have give you permission to explore that concept. It'd be interesting to know. And the thing with the population, going back to the
Mm.
population stats and the inflation, really, I think, I'd be very curious, everyone who's watching this, if you just like go at night, say at like, 8 o'clock at night and just drive through your neighborhood, wherever you are in the world, just drive through your neighborhood and just see how many lights are on.
Lights are on.
Just go and fucking see how many lights are on in your neighborhood. Like, I mean, we
Mm.
might be surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
We
especially in
might
a
literally
city,
be
right?
surprised.
In like in a city, check out like apartment buildings, right? How many lights are on? Or are the lights on and nobody's home? But this is the thing, everything's perceived, right?
Yep.
Like we don't have like first-hand evidence for much, right? It's all this
Oh,
second-hand evidence, this,
oh, Campbell, it's
you know,
depressing.
these boundary proofs. So we just don't know, but we've got a lot of belief
We
systems on this
don't
is
know
what it is.
nothing.
But that's all goes back to programming. So how much of this is real and how much of it is programmed and how much of it is real, right? Like really, like of all the stuff we're fed. Because when you get out away from technology and all this kind of stuff and out into nature, even just for a week, like it's a completely different reality, isn't it? It's just completely different.
It is. Yeah,
Like
it's different. But it's not it's
different.
different, but the more I'm the more I'm sort of it's different, but it still feels fluid to me. Like it still feels like it's hard to mentally understand this concept of holographic simulation, electrical landscapes, frequency-based reality versus when you're in nature or you're traveling, it feels so physical. And it's just, yeah, I mean, we've got two paradoxical concepts going on because we
Yeah.
can't find much evidence for life, because we can't find much evidence for death. We can't find much evidence. So that's sort of like, that's a paradox.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have all this death, 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 but then when we look around for the people and the animals, they don't seem to be there. Like at least not in the numbers that they should be, right?
Which adds to this concept of the Mandela effect, doesn't it? I mean, the Mandela effect is just, I mean, potentially we've got all these people just disappearing without even dying, just gone.
Well,
What's happening there? What's happening
maybe,
there to these
maybe it's
entities?
is it the apocalypse? Is that what they call it? When they all float up into space?
Rapture, mate.
The
Rapture.
rapture, the
Clearly,
rapture.
you're not going to the rapture,
Maybe
my
the
friend.
rapture's happening, and because we didn't worship Jesus and Yahweh, then we don't see it. We're standing down here. Because one
No
of the
rapture for
things from
you.
the rapture is when the people disappear, no one has a memory that they ever existed.
Yeah, yeah, that which is what we were tossing with the Mandela effect and these people in China and but
Mm,
ultimately China is just validating this concept of inflated population, obviously.
mm.
They've just like gone from 1.4 billion to like 200, 300 million, like statistically. Now people are coming out with that being the AI, like
Mm.
algorithms showing that that's kind of more
I think
accurate.
I know where the extra billion people went. Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah, Melbourne from China. Yeah, I mean, we've definitely got a hit of Chinese people in every city for sure here in Australia. Like
Every
everyone
city
else has
has
a
a
hit of,
Chinatown, right? Every
yeah,
city has a
yeah.
Chinatown. Why is
Australia
that?
and China are like fucking love each other, mate. They
Well,
love each other.
the politicians.
We don't love each other, but they love each other. Australia's always been China, is what
Oh,
I'm saying.
Australia loves China
Australia's
so much.
always been China.
And we give them all our resources for free. That's how much our politicians love them. That's crazy.
when
How
we
well
when we did
they.
our like discovery of Melbourne and we were looking at the gold mines, man. And then we discovered that the Chinese, they not only like landed magically on the coast of fucking Perth, I mean, whatever, and then walked across Australia with all their like supplies that they didn't know they would need, obviously, and then found gold
And
just there. They
gold.
found it, and
They
then like,
found that opals and I mean the pearls way up the coast of WA and stuff out in the
yeah,
desert. Yeah, they just
yeah,
walked up there and found all of the pearl industry, the banana industry. They laid all the
tobacco,
railways, the tobacco.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Australia's always been China, just so we're clear about it. So that's just the fact. But yeah, I mean, obviously, over in other places in the world, we've got a massive issue with the population. But let's not get into that one. Let's just stay here on our missing bodies. So this conversation is interesting, Cam, because we've understood that our whole economy is pinned by ghosts, zombies, and death, and that the new economy is called crypto. And it also is a quadrillion, tripular, dipular. Is what's going to when's the word going to immerse its past quadrillion? Like it's a
mm,
quadrillion industry in the fourth
trillion,
dimension,
billion,
which is what
brilliant.
our economy is. And it's all based on non-human entities.
Mm.
The whole
Look,
thing,
it's all just imagined. Like you
all
can't
just
go and hold
imagined.
a Bitcoin, just like you can't go and hug a straw man, right? These are all things that don't exist
Yeah,
apart from on
you
paper
could
and in our mind, right? And that's taking us down a dimension, right? Taking the 3D and turning it into
take it down a
2D.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting it on
I
paper
mean,
on the
you
screen.
you might be able to get a card that says you've got crypto in here that you can spend, money of the dead that you
Hmm.
can spend.
Money of the dead.
Or you'll never like, or Bitcoin might be turned into some like replica coin or something like this, and you'll be like, fucking, it's real, it's crypto. But fuck, man, it's just like it's a delusion. I swear, I swear. I mean, and like, look, my partner's into it. I know there's a lot of truthers into it. I know that a lot of truthers have made money from it, and fucking excellent. If you ride that game right now, to everyone out there in our community
Yeah,
who's like
man.
mastered it,
Play
fucking
their
why
game
not?
back to them. Yeah, yeah. If you can beat them
Yeah.
in their own game, go for it.
But as a concept,
As a
as an
concept.
idea,
Yeah, it's weird.
what? It's so
Hmm.
weird. But doesn't it make sense when you understand the story of the invasion, how this could all have played out this way? Like, the economy is now in their realm. Has always been in their realm. The economy has always been in their realm. They introduced it.
The money, the mon eye, the one eye. I mean, yeah, hello.
Yeah. And so it's always been in this fourth dimensional
The
space.
currency, right? The
Yeah,
current,
yeah,
because they came
always.
from the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I know.
Oh.
So, yeah, so what's your grand summary of all this? So, literally, we have no evidence of bodies on this realm. That's weird, that's interesting, and it's true.
Hmm.
And when we look at Tartaria, when we looked at the change in the civilization, whatever happened there,
Uh,
I don't know.
And there's no bodies there either, right? The whole mud flood sort of thing. But yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, some people think it's a video game, and in a video game,
Well, it does kind of
you
lend
don't need to
itself.
put the bodies underneath the video floor, right?
The video
Um,
floor.
the ground of the video game. You don't need to
It's
bury
true.
them.
It's true.
Or is it all paper? I mean, I think what it all is perceived, and it just shows us once again that nothing that we've been told is true. It's all a story, right? It's all fake, and it's all to get us to believe it. Because ultimately, especially with the straw man, if we all believe that and play that game, they make their money, right, and deal with dead people.
Which
But
we
if we
do.
learn
And
how to get around that, then that shuts that down, right? It's just like the online world and all the bots and stuff. It only works because we participate, right? So all of this, it's all illusion, but it really only works if we participate in it. When you think about it,
yeah, I know. Yes. Yes, it's very hard not to though. Like that's
well,
like
it's
a
very
truth
hard not
statement.
to. I
We
agree.
have
I
no
agree.
option. We're entwined from birth, Campbell.
Yeah, we've been
They made
born
zombies
into
out
it.
of us, my friend. Zombies.
Yeah, I know, right? We are the zombie apocalypse. It's us.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, like you can see, in all the magical fantasy, in all that sort of that genre, when people die, their spirit, their soul leaves, which is what happens to us. Our souls leave. We're gone. We're out of there. They've, well, I mean, if you believe it, they've tested the bodies when souls leave, they get lighter by 7. Is it 27 grams? It gets lighter.
27,
And
is it? Yeah, yeah.
no, I can't quite
21,
remember what
21
grams it is.
grams.
21.
There's a book, I
Yeah,
think.
there's a movie probably. There's a movie probably. It's
Hmm.
programming around that. So yeah, 21 grams lighter, if it's true or not. And then the body's just like into dust.
21
Don't they?
grams heavier.
Oh, 21 grams. Yeah, with the soul in
Yeah,
it. Then when the
because
soul leaves, it gets.
no, when
So
the
then the
soul
body's.
leaves, the body gets heavier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the soul's light.
Oh, that's much nicer. That's way more poetic as a concept. Yes. All right. So yes, better, Campbell. Thanks for clearing that up. Point is that there's a measurement that they have decided
That
that
something
there's
happens.
proof
Yeah.
that something happens. And then in the retelling of the fantasy stories, they just like the body then without the light in it, it just turns to dust.
Yeah,
Ashes
yeah,
to dust. It's just to
yeah.
dust.
To dust.
To
Ashes to
dust. And
ashes.
that's right. And the only reason we think that wouldn't be the case is because we've seen images and pictures of skeletons in coffins.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
And no one ever re-digs up the dead.
yeah. And I mean that's you should never see a skeleton in in a coffin. Like the wood would decompose before the flesh or I don't,
Oh, it's
you
the
know what I
weirdest
mean? The wood
idea.
would need to decompose for the
Yeah,
flesh to be able to decompose and
it's
leave
really
that
weird.
enclosed
Yes.
space, right?
Yes, it's very odd.
That's very odd. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole concept. That's why I'm saying maybe there's something else going on because the whole concept of putting an organic biological body into an enclosed space and burying it doesn't preserve the body. It just makes the decaying process so much longer.
Yeah.
Like
Remember
the
that?
skeletons decay, so something they decay because you don't see flesh on them.
Mm,
So
remember
something
that movie,
organic.
A Cabin in the Woods? And
No,
when he went into the coffin, it was
I
like
would never
this
watch a
horror
movie
movie.
like with the title like that. Go
Yes,
on, of
it's a horror thing, but he gets into this
course.
coffin and then it just goes under the ground and he gets popped up in this underground realm with all these beasties.
Oh, well, yes, you see, that's what I'm saying. There could be something else going on there,
Mm,
like with a layer. I
yeah.
mean, I believe in that real civilization and I mean, I definitely, if we're living, even if it's a simulation, I still think there's an underground to this.
Mm,
And I think there's a lot of evidence that we could kind of like, look at from that perspective. So something else might be going on with the burial process and the body process.
yeah, the
But it is an
coffin
odd
could be
thing.
gift wrapping, right?
The coffin could be,
Gift
well, the
wrapping
coffin.
this.
It keeps it clean, I guess. It gets it like it moves it down and up. But
And
at
it's
the
a
end of the
billion-dollar
day,
industry.
I mean, putting an organic body into a box that's either wood or lead or even fucking
Metal.
yeah, metal definitely.
Oh, like stone or
Yeah,
marble.
like stone or marble. Marble, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, like that's going to cause a really weird impact on the body. And you never see people, any pictures of them looking at bodies after, 10 years in this capacity.
They're all
Because there's
weird and
nothing can
kooky.
get in to eat the body. All that
Mm,
can happen is the parasites that are already in your body could eat you from the inside out. But like, I mean, the worms can't get to you.
no.
Nothing can get to you if you're entombed.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. There's not enough bodies. There's not enough people. So leave us your comments, guys. What do you think? Is it all on paper? Like, is there something going on? Are we eating each other? Is it soy and green? Is it just all a grand illusion? Right?
Maybe it's all of the above.
Is it all of the
Maybe it's all of the above. There's an inflation of the death and birth rates by billions. There is zombie versions of ourselves by billions. There's a massive economy underpinned by the death market, and its extension is the crypto market. Um, that's happening. Potentially, there is a more nefarious side to the food chain when it comes to the consumption. And I
food?
mean, I would say the pharmaceutical, the medical, the cosmetic, and the food chain combined would account for a lot of the use of bodies.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, how's that
The
Sandra
hospitals,
Bullock interview? And she's like, "Oh, I'm rubbing I think it was the blood, basically something like makeup made from foreskins,
yeah,
children's foreskin. She was rubbing on her
yeah,
face.
yeah. So
Like,
I would say that that whole, because this is an economy based on death, that I think that the products that this death economy creates would also be utilizing the dead. I would say that all of our
yeah, yeah,
industries are
yeah,
based on the blood and bone of the natural human, and that's the products that is being consumed by it. I would say that's a pretty, we
yeah,
could
yeah.
probably
So we
argue
don't
that
make, yeah, we
gruesome
don't have to be
concept.
eating it through our mouth. We could be eating it through absorbing it in our skin, right?
And
Or
medicines.
whatever. Medicines, yeah.
Pills, yep, care products, all of that, all of the anything to do with the beauty industry has to include urine or collagen. Because the only way it can do anything for us is if it involves stem cells,
Themselves.
collagen, urine, anything, right? It has to be human to
Mm.
regenerate human. Disgusting concept.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. There's pee in all makeup, basically.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
it's other people's
So
pee. You know,
they
if you're
make
going to do it, just
experiments,
use your own pee. Like, cut out the middleman, right? Pee
basically.
into a fan.
So, I mean, essentially, all of our industries are founded on blood and bone.
It,
Shit, but that's
it's
true.
a death cult, man. Necromancy, like it is,
Yep,
and yeah, like they treat us this bad while we're alive and trade us as dead while we're alive. Why wouldn't they utilize our skin suit, right? After we finish using it,
yep.
just feed it
And
back in the system.
so I think all that's happening. But I also think that there is potentially the concept of once you pass, you're removed from the set. I think that's like a possibility.
Yeah,
Good, strong possibility. And the only way we'll ever fucking know for sure is if we
yeah.
like,
Go and dig
dig up
up, but
some
I mean,
bodies.
this and all these old. The old cemeteries you see around the churches and
Ugh.
the old ones that people go and visit, and that they could literally just be there that they just props, right, for
They're props.
programming, just
I
to
feel
make
like they're
us
props.
believe that's what happens, right? Like,
Yep.
it's nothing in
Yep.
there probably, but it's just this stage set. Yep, this is death, this is what
Yep.
happens, you get buried. Just believe that. Don't look around for any answers, whatever you do.
Yep.
By the story.
Ah, mate. All right. Well, imagine if the first act of the investment group is to dig up some dead bodies. How weird. I just think our life is so weird. Like we literally we have to like play with this because here we are. We're literally in a death cult, a death zombie fucking cult bullshit reality. Like
Yeah,
we're
the,
part of
the
that.
cult of Ur, man. The cult of
Yeah.
Ur.
I know. So like, I mean, if we sometimes we have to go and, have our own like
Yeah.
archaeological dig to validate the experience, the guesswork here. Because if we dug up a body
No, well, if
and
we dug up nobody's, that'd even be more interesting, right?
yeah,
Empty
so we could either dig
coffins.
up no bodies or we could dig up skeleton that's still there, which would then get rid of
Maybe
that
maybe
theory.
we'd dig up a coffin and it would just have like a death certificate inside. Like here lies the straw man for
Yeah. You owe us.
the CR purpose. Yeah, you owe us, not an IOU, you owe us. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
that would be fun. But yes, the investment group, we're not going to do that, at least at the start. But that's coming up soon. We will tell you about the investment group.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is playing on around our reality, but here we are. Here we are talking about it, discussing it, and deciding how we want to, move forward with this concept and this energetic. I mean, from my perspective, like, yes, it's a gruesome concept that we've talked about today. It fucking is. I mean, you could not even invent this if you tried. Like, I mean, it's diabolical. It's like completely the inverted shadow of the living human. It is
It's,
literally like they've forced us into the shadowlands of the inverted human. Like it's a mirrored reality that is founded on a horror story.
hmm. Yeah, yeah, and it's just one more thing, right? That we just took for
Oh, just
granted,
one more
right? We just
thing.
believed, and it's just nothing. You look into it, it's nothing like it's everything, right?
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
look a bit closer at reality, it all starts to unravel pretty quickly.
yeah, yeah. It unravels, man. So we got
Unravels.
to try not to unravel. We unravel it, but try not to unravel ourselves. That's the aim of the game here. So, alongside this horrific story that we've unraveled tonight, Like, what's something positive? What's the benefit in this for us, Campbell? What's the fucking
Well,
benefit to the loss?
there's no climate change, there's no food shortage, and soon there's going to be a
What's the
really,
benefit?
real lot of houses that'll be really cheap.
That's a good benefit, Campbell. Yes, indeed. And it's
Mm.
interesting, I have to acknowledge and observe that, a lot of what the truth community, like we discredit this sort of statistical information and yet often use it and like are often utilizing it in some capacity, as in, like everyone's very excited to get the statistics on how many people, for example, have died of COVID, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah,
But
good point. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
in to validate our choice not to engage with that. But at the end of the day, fuck knows.
I mean, but
Who knows?
that's another
Maybe
good
no
point,
one's
right?
dying of anything.
No, because remember in COVID, I think it was 2022, and everyone's like, where are all the bodies? Basically, where are all the bodies, right? We're asking the same question. And then one person, I remember the first video that came out, and they got
Yep.
into a hospital and they're walking around and it is empty.
Empty. Everywhere we saw empty.
Nothing, not one person, not even
Mm.
doctors and nurses, man.
I mean, again, all the way through COVID, everyone was asking where are all the bodies?
Where are the bodies?
Where are the bodies? Because like the hospitals were empty.
The hospitals were empty. It came out that heaps of people did it, right? They were all empty. There was nothing going on.
Mm.
So that's another, pointed to this is just all this imagined reality, right?
Mm.
All these stories really only exist in our
Mhm.
mind, as far as we can prove. So don't take life too seriously, right? It's just
How
a
many
game.
people, Campbell, how many people in your life have you buried or have died? Because for most people, you wouldn't go past five on your hand.
Like one.
One. I've buried three of my grandparents, and my other grandparents, that's four, and my best friend a couple of years ago, that's five.
Hmm. I
That's
mean, my
that's
grandparents died, but I
six.
never knew them. So, but apparently that's the story. But to me, it's just a story. So, but I guess
So
so.
in my lifetime, I've
But
personally been
I actually
involved.
know two. No, I mean, a guy I went to school with
Mm.
died young. So, like two people I know my whole life, really.
Yep. And I bet you it's a similar story for everyone here tonight, that if the true amount of bodies or death that they've interacted with this lifetime would be pretty small.
Well, I mean, it's a good point, right? Before these millions and millions and millions of people dying every year, you'd think that at age 50, you'd have at least probably 50 people, right, that you knew.
Yep.
You'd think it'd be
Yeah.
quite a list.
Yep.
But I've got none, none. I think one of my uncle died, but I didn't really know him either. So it's not like that's me grasping, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's
Hmm.
people around us that have died that are like a few stages, not personal, like so like they're
Hmm.
not family members, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
or
Not,
or friends.
yeah. People you hear of dying, but there's no
Yeah.
actual interaction, personal interaction with them. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just an interesting thing.
It
That's another thing
is.
we can literally observe in our own life. I'm all
Let us
about the
know. Do
observation
you
of
know
what's
more than
obvious.
30 people? Because
Yeah.
we should at least know that, right? At this
Yeah.
age.
Yeah, definitely. But
Mm.
no, our lives, they plod on quite quietly, don't they? They just plod on quite quietly. All the
Mm.
chaos and craziness is just out there in the
It's
fourth dimension, in
or
the
in
social
there,
media dimension, the
right?
internet dimension, the
The
fourth,
internet
whatever the fuck
dimension.
it is, dimension,
Yep,
the
yep.
crypto dimension, and the zombie dimension.
Yeah, man. The media, right? Medea, the goddess of illusion from Greek
Yeah,
mythology. So
yeah.
I
But
think
for the
that's what
most
it is,
part,
right?
Cam, our lives just plod along
Yeah.
quite quietly and slowly, and they plod along,
Yep.
Not much happens during a day. Nothing massively extraordinary, considering we're in like which I guess is by nature what a
Mm.
simulation would feel like. By nature, I guess it's quite got that
Yeah.
stability of,
Was it you that I was talking to when someone was saying that their parents were in World War II and they were talking to them about it and they were like, oh yes,
no, it was
basically we don't talk about that. It's so bad, it's so bad. And they said, but all these people were dying on it. And they said, how many people did you see die? Like how many did you actually see? And they both went, oh, now that you mention it, no one. But it was on the telly. We saw it on the
yep,
news.
yep.
you
Yeah.
know, and this is the thing with memories like that, after a while, you can actually think that you did see them.
That's how memories work.
That's how memories
I
work.
mean,
Yeah.
memories are bullshit. I don't want to get in that topic. That's all in the
That's
show. I don't
another
want to talk
side
about
one.
memories. But
Yes.
yes, yep.
So,
Um, but I will
yes.
say, Cam, I just want to say what's on my mind because I just thought about it. I would just like to publicly thank every single person who helped us and volunteered to help us this weekend. We had some stellar human beings. Helen, Edwina, Paula, Asta, Seal, like all of you who came through, Nadesh, who actually like got in there, and we did the biggest space clearing in our history. It was fucking epic. We've hired an official Ghostbuster because look, we
Yes.
fucking need one. Look how many
Yes.
ghosts we're dealing with right now.
It's
Man, that
true.
space was cleared. There was drums, there was smoke, there was fucking warrior women walking around, shamans everywhere. It was fucking excellent.
It
And we're
was.
going to do that every time this time because yeah, I mean, we live in a ghost world, guys, a ghost world.
Yeah, man. That's yeah. Beware of things that go bump in the night, right? But yes, thank you
Very,
to
a
everyone
very,
who helped out
yeah,
the
thanks
weekend.
everyone. Yeah.
Love you.
Um, our ghosts on planet Earth are very wealthy. We have a lot of wealthy ghosts, Campbell.
Yes, maybe we
They're
should become
quite.
ghost hunters and hunt down our own ghosts and rob the
Do you think,
buggers.
do you think if this was like a weird simulation, like our ghosts that we've created individually, they could be living full existences and we could be one of their ghosts? I mean, if it's
Yeah.
all just a delusion of economies and paperwork and names but names are spells, so
Names
they
are
bind
spells.
us, and so it's just interesting. Just a thought, just a thought.
It is, it is. Let us know your thoughts, guys, down below. What do you think's going on? Do you have any other information to add to the conversation? Have you seen
Yeah.
a cemetery being built recently? Do you know more
Yep.
than 30 people that have passed? Let us know.
Yeah, because that's the other thing which we didn't actually say on this show, which is you never see cemeteries expanding. You
No.
never see them being built anywhere new. You never see the expansion of cemeteries ever. And if you do, it's like minimal. It's like an acre. It's like hardly anything. Or even if it's 10 acres, that's nothing
No.
comparatively to the amount of people that would require
Hmm.
it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
yeah,
think it
just
was 112 bodies per acre or something
oh
like that. So
yeah.
10 acres, you're talking 1,000 people. It's nothing. You would need hundreds of thousands of acres to even get close to, and that's
How
even,
many people do you think you know
oh, that's a
in
good
your whole
question.
life?
In my whole
You
life.
guys ever ask yourselves that? How many people do you think you know in your whole friggin' life?
I mean, as
More
far
than
as
a hundred?
know, obviously there's people that you meet, but you don't know them, right? But as far
Yeah,
as
you gotta have
some
met them. You
kind of
gotta have met them.
relationship,
Hmm.
I mean, it can't be that more than 100 when you think about it, can it?
No.
Really? It's another interesting question, right? This is the thing. We have this perception of there's people everywhere, and but all we know is our experience, right? So how many have we interacted with? How many do we
Yep.
know that have passed? Like
Yep.
these are good questions. So let us know.
Yeah,
Love
because
answers.
if we take on board the idea that reality is happening from within us, it's happening from our brains, our minds, being projected out. If we take that on board, I don't know, maybe I know 100 people. Maybe slightly more. I mean, I've traveled far, but if I know, not this
Yeah,
random people that pass me on the bus.
yeah. That you know.
But that would be probably pushing it if I really think about it, and like
Hmm.
if we really sit down and think about it and had to write down the names of every single person we know. Like I wonder, a curious exercise, how many, I wonder if we'd all kind of average around the same number. I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interested. I'm going to do it.
And then the whole 6 degrees of separation. Like, how does that
Yep.
work with 8 billion people? How can you reach anyone in the world in 6 steps of, I mean, that shouldn't work.
Yep.
No? All the presidents are related. That shouldn't work.
Yep.
Many
Shouldn't work.
questions.
But
Shouldn't
imagine
work.
if this bot concept or this ghost zombie concept, like, and that we have a ghost economy, a death economy. So then the 80% of content online are bots. Do you think that the bots have been empowered to spend? Do you think the bots have a budget? Do you think do the ghosts have a wage?
Yeah, it's our money they're spending, right? But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, because you walk through a mall, right? Every
Empty.
shop has got so much stuff in it,
Yeah.
yet there's hardly any people in the mall.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder just how are these shops staying in business?
Yeah.
How they, and you go into a food shop, right, where the food's it only lasts, what, a week or something, but it's always fresh and it's always restocked and restocked, and it's like, who's buying all this stuff? So maybe it's the bots. Maybe it's the bots that made Bezos a billionaire, right?
Well, like, you know how you pay for Facebook ads if you have a
Mm.
product? Then maybe the bots have budgets and
They're
they
setting up
interact.
businesses.
Yeah. Fucking hell,
All
man.
these
This could
online
be a
millionaires. Yeah, it
whole
could be.
world of bots out there living the life. Avatars living their lives, man. And they get up one day and the humans have dressed them, you know. They're like, I'm going to design my avatar today. And the avatar's like, excellent. The ghost has a face suddenly. And, you know, a bank account and assets.
Yeah,
I think our bots have budgets.
bots have budgets. I mean, it would help the illusion.
So much.
It would help
So much help the
the
illusion.
economy because this
So
is
much.
the other thing. When you say there's 8 billion people, you've got to have the illusion of all the shops and the food and
Yep.
8 billion people. And then if that's not the number, you need that to turn over. You need the numbers to keep
Yep.
ticking, right? So
Yep.
do bots have budgets? Let us know below.
Because, like, if you think about the consumption level of all the like shit that gets made in China, we're
Yeah.
told, but it does, like, it's shit put over here, and then people are just and there's goes chuck like the amount of waste would make a lot more sense if the population was less, but then there's someone still buying it. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
I
we
mean,
could get
that's
into this
another question that
endlessly.
maybe we can tackle is like, how full is your tip?
Yep.
Shouldn't we have a lot
Yep.
more tips? Like tips
Yep.
stay
That's
open for
true.
20 years, right? In
Yep.
cities.
That's right. That's true, Campbell. And I'm a tip rat. So I've spent a lot of time in tips. I love
Mm.
tips. I shop at
Tips are
tips.
great. Tip shops
Tips are great.
rule.
It's where you get all the good furniture these days. All the good shit's at the tip, just so
It
you know, for
is.
$10,
Yeah, man.
and all the bad
Hardwood
shit's
at
at
IKEA.
IKEA. Obviously, I didn't think it's yeah. Anyway, but that I mean that's a whole other question, isn't it? Like the consumption levels, where did they fall? I mean, if we actually looked at the utility usage of your town, or the consumption of sugar and salt, it's basic
Interesting.
things like of that. Would it give you some more clues to how many? Anyway, I just think it would be very interesting. I'm going to go
Yeah.
and drive around
Electricity
Mullaney.
consumption would be interesting, wouldn't it? And things like that.
Yeah,
Water consumption. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm going to go drive around Mullaney in the next couple of days, about 8 o'clock at night. I'm just going to observe. I'm going to go drive the streets. I'm going to observe how many lights are on. You
Mm.
know, like I just out of
Well,
curiosity, I'd be very interested if everyone else does in their neighborhood.
yeah, yeah. Because Mulaney's, it's not a big town. What do they say, 10,000 or something? Like,
I think 10,
one's
12, something like
10,
that.
12,000. But walking up down the street, it never looks like it's a town of 10. You would
No.
think 1,000 maybe. You're like, where are all these other people hiding in their houses? Who knows?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean, when we say the population of Mulaney's 12,000, that's based on the same bullshit population stats as everything else.
Mm,
So how many people are really living in your neighborhood? And this
mm.
is your time to be an explorer and an archaeologist, my friend. You're going to be essentially you're an archeologist of the world of the dead. So I don't
Yes.
know how we got into this ghost story, how we ended up in the
Necrologist.
city of the dead, but here we are. Here we are.
It's a zombie apocalypse.
It's literally the
Let's go
zombie
camping.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. General notice, if you've made it this far, you must like Tartaria Australia. And I'm
Yes.
just putting it
Me
out there in the
too.
network, just out of curiosity. I was wondering if anyone in the audience is either A, a graphic designer, or B, has any form of printing business. I've obviously
Yes.
this week we've gone into production of the newspaper, and I would love to be working with some other people on this project. It does require some design skills. So normally I would work via InDesign and Photoshop, but I'm looking for someone who's maybe interested in actually working with me to do the actual design and layout of the publication. And we have to print it. So, and yeah, if anyone in the
Yes.
audience
Is there
has a
anyone with the
printing
capacity to print?
press,
We would
we'd
love
love
to
to do it
hear
all
from you.
in-house.
Yes.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just put it out there and out there into the realm to see because we would much prefer to be working with people within our community than random fucking strangers anywhere else. So if either of those things are part of your world, we'd love to hear you. Drop us an
Yeah.
email at tartariaustralia@gmail.com with the maybe the title, graphic design or print or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah,
Well,
just
I'm not a zombie. Hire me.
yeah. So just putting it out there into the ether to see if anyone you can be anywhere in the world to do this job. We'd yeah, love to hear from you.
We
And
would.
that's it, Campbell.
That's it. All right. So, did we solve it? We don't know. Leave us a
Okay.
comment, give us a like, share this video around, and tartariaustralia.com. Join us at the Jolly Swag Tour, 5th to the 7th of September.
Unless you want to volunteer, in which case we'll be there 2 weeks earlier and setting up the property. And we'd really love you to buy your ticket soon, so we know how many people are
Yes.
coming, so we know how many
Week.
fucking bales of grass we need to cut. So come on, people. We're on a farm schedule with this one. We're on a fucking
2 weeks
seasonal
early?
schedule.
What are we going to do for 2 weeks? Okay, well, at least 1 week early.
Yeah, we've got a lot of grass to cut.
We've got a
So
lot of grass to
yes,
cut.
and wood
Yes.
to chop,
Yes.
cinema to put up.
Yes. Yes. And I've got a lot of supervising to do.
Yeah, yeah, my
Yes.
old drunken sailor there, my old drunken sailor. All right, everyone. Well, to everyone who attended on the weekend, we absolutely loved meeting each one of you. I made a big effort to walk around, give you all a big hug. Love having you at the events, and it really was a fantastic event. Sunshine Coast call out to you, fantastic. Thank you for showing up. We actually sold out, so that was pretty fucking excellent. We could
Try it
squished a
again.
few more people in, but it was very
Yeah.
good effort from the Sunshine Coast. Keep your eyes peeled. The next couple of weeks, we'll be putting up more dates around Australia. If you want us to come, if you think you can get us a venue of up to 100 people and have an audience there, then we will love to hear from you. We want to go everywhere with this show. We want to meet all of you. We want to speak this one out. It's really a really important, surprising, unexpected show. And we really want you to
Yes.
come
And
and
it's
see what you think of
not
this one.
Tartaria.
Come and grade your wisdom alongside us on this one. We've
Yes.
taken it to the next level. It's the next level of the game, people,
It
and we
is.
really want you to experience it. Yes.
It's time to step up. All right, all links below, guys. If you missed those, we love you. Leave us comments, and we'll see you next week
Woohoo!
in
Tartaria,
Australia.
Australia. Back.
Yes. All
We're
right.
back.
Goodbye.
Have the best week ever, guys.
Yep.
See you
Love
next
you
week.
all. Stay awesome.